man, this had to be one of the best episodes. God, this episode was freaking awesome. Vale, you is G. I hate you, but this guy's G. What's good, everybody? This your boy Kamen Rider Zero Spike back again once again. And today, people, today we are here for another episode of Kamen Rider Revice, episode 25. And I'm just, man, it's so much, it's a big information dump on this episode. And it was okay, let's get into it. So we basically we see that they're trying to figure out basically what has happened in the Igadashi's like past or whatever. We see George trying to figure it out. We actually get past George. We see little kid George. He's cute and whatever. And we get a lot trying to get the past on trying to get what's going on in the Igadashi's past. And he actually looks up their name. I'm like, yo, like turns out there was a big fire that happened way in the Igadashi's past. And a fire happened, I guess it was also before, Daiji was really little. Sakura wasn't born yet, and, it was just Iki. So we also saw that the the demon inside of the demon's driver has left, and he ends up going and possessing another driver, which is the Vale driver. And we see that this driver tries to basically say it's going to go find George. So maybe it has some kind of connection with George, even though it also knows his dad. This driver also knows his dad. Daddy Igarashi, well, not Igarashi, but Daddy Karasaki. So these two families are linked together, the Igarashi family and the Karasaki family. These two families are linked together in basically some kind of way. So we did find out that Karasaki, I just said it, Karasaki, he basically used this driver on Genta, who is Iki and them's dad. And yeah, the driver would only work. The driver will only give you good power and work if you had some of Gift's DNA within you. So they implanted Gift's DNA inside of Genta, and they gave him the Vale driver, and that's how he's able to become Kamen Rider Vale. Also, we see that because I guess the demon's driver is like kind of dead now, because I don't think Otaka can use it anymore since the demon Vale. Since Vale left the driver, I guess the driver is dead now. I don't know. We didn't see him like try to use it in this episode, but at the same time, is the driver dead? Like, can you even? I don't know, because it doesn't have a demon in it anymore. So I guess the driver is like dead now. So since he can't use it anymore, he feels effed up about it. And we see that the big guy, the guy part of the Phoenix, because we haven't been in the Phoenix base in a while. Well, I guess we've been in like the little warehouse part where George is, but at the same time, haven't seen any Phoenix guys, or haven't seen the Phoenix soldiers, or the Phoenix base like that. But we actually see him, and we haven't seen him in a minute. He comes up and basically like gives like some words of encouragement to Otaka. And yeah, he's angry. He starts going on a creating Giftarian kind of spree. He ends up making 2 Giftarians. He gets ready to make 2 more, and that's when Aguilera stops him, and she basically forms a deal with him, saying that I won't make any more Giftarians. I won't make any more Giftarians if you go and get you basically take orders from me, and you go get Karasaki for me. He's talking about George, and she's like, all right, I'll do it. So we see the George, I guess he's taking a walk, he's thinking or whatever, and we see that he gets ambushed by the two Giftarians and Aguilera and Otaka, and that's when Iki Vice, I'll call him Iki Vice right now. Iki Vice, we see Iki Vice, Daiji and Sakura end up coming in and actually helping out. But previously in the episode, we did get little hints that we did see that Genta, their dad, he's been having like chest pains and stuff like that, and they did talk about the fire and things that happened back then. And you see that their kids don't like the siblings don't remember because Sakura wasn't born yet, but Daiji and Iki don't remember that fight, don't remember that night at all. They don't remember it at all. I mean, it's even though like you're a little kid and there's some memories that you don't some things that happened to you as a kid that you really don't remember. I guess this is one of those, but we'll get to the reason. We'll get to that in a second of why Iki does not remember. So we see that they're fighting they end up fighting Oteka. And well, yeah, fighting the Gyptarians, and they fought, and we see Sakura fighting Aguilera. The brothers end up taking out. We see that the brothers end up taking out the two Gyptarians. And I also notice how like the Gyptarians are basically turned into fodder. Like they taking Gyptarians out kind of easily. Like when Gyptarians was first out here, like it was big, brooding, kind of strong creatures, but now it just seems like they're fodder because not everybody has gotten so much stronger, and the synergy between the siblings and stuff like that. So it's like, like the Gyptarians are really not all that intimidating anymore. I mean, yeah, they look cool and they're powerful, but it seems like right now they're just getting whooped they're barely lasting an episode. So it's like, yeah, so we see the brothers end up defeating both of these Gyptarians, and we see that Aguilera is still fighting, Sakura. She ends up beating her, and as soon as the Gyptarians are defeated, we see that the energy from the Gyptarians gets put inside of Giff, and he powers up even more, and that's when it forces our riders to turn back into their civilian forms, and that's when their demons kind of start to rampage. We see that Kagero is like Kagero is kind of messing with Daiji. He's trying to get out. We see that Love-kun, it's so cute, but she's attacking Sakura, and we also see that Vice is having his headaches. So it forces them to de-henshin, and then just when we also saw that he brings in two more. Oteka brings in two more Gyptarians, and they're getting ready to attack the siblings. And Aguilera's pissed off about it because she stopped him from making more Gyptarians, or for sacrificing more cult members to make more Gyptarians. She stopped him, and he made a deal with her saying that he wasn't going to do it. But he's like, oh, deals are meant to be broken. So these two Gyptarians are getting ready to attack the siblings, and that's when you see Aguilera get hit by this little shockwave, and that's when a man walks up with the Veil Driver. The Veil Driver basically looks just like the Demon's Driver, but it has two handles on the side of it, and it's a different color and stuff like that. And we actually see him walk up. It turns out it's Genta. It's their dad. It's Genta. And then he actually hitches it into Kamen Rider Veil, and it was a very awesome transformation sequence. It was very, very, very cool. So we actually see that now. We actually see while he's in when he walked up and when he hitched up into Kamen Rider Veil, that's Veil possessing their dad. And when he hitches up, we see that his heart comes back. His heart in his chest ends up coming back. And when it comes back, he hitches up and he absolutely demolishes these things. Like he has like a teleporting moment. He's walking up slowly. He doesn't even run. This dude is one-shotting all of them, crushing them with his bare hands. He kills one just by grabbing it by its face and crushing it, and then he kills the other one when he slams it into a glass window and just completely goes JoJo on it. A one-handed order, and basically Shoryukens it, and I'm like, yo, who is this? I'm like, yo, this is dope. But I know that it's kind of effed up. So they ended up, they see that that's him, but the siblings are trying to see that, oh man, is that like dad? What's happening? Dad's a Kamen Rider, stuff like that. Everybody's very confused. And Iki tries to stop him and trying to see what's going on, and he says, "Oh, I see that you become a Kamen Rider too, boy." And he touches his head, and he makes him remember what happened that night. And while he's remembering, we see that Vice is like, "Iki, no, you don't need to remember that." So he ends up remembering everything, and that's when he is ready to That's when he gets ready to kill Iki and the rest of them. But then that's when Genta uses his other hand and stops him and says, "Stop it, Vale. Leave my family alone." So he turns back and he turns back into, you know, Genta. He wakes up for a second and says, "Oh, where am I?" And then he passes back out. And that's when Busan. I'm like, who? I'm like, okay, Busan was always, you know, is the big guy who's always at the bathhouse helping him out, stuff like that. And he's always silly, happy, you know, jolly kind of dude. And he says, "Don't worry." He just reverted back to his old self, you know. But he's okay though. I'll take him. He's like, and they're asking him, "Who is he? What's happening here?" He's like, "I can't tell y'all that." And then he picks up Genta and leaves. And after that, we don't see Genta. We don't see Genta or Busan for the rest of the episode. So I guess maybe Genta is in the hospital. I don't know, but we don't know where he took him. So we also don't know if their mom knows about this. So we basically go back to the bathhouse and we see that we see that Iki basically tells the story of what happened that night, and we see Iki standing inside of a burning down bathhouse, and we see that Vale is basically just attacking everybody. He's not in the Kamen Rider form, but he's attacking everybody and stuff like that. He looks at Iki and stuff like that, and he talks to Iki and he tells him like, "Oh yeah, you experience fear, all that crap." So Genta's trying to regain control, but that's when little Iki ends up manifesting Vice, and this is where Vice was born. This was basically Vice's little also origin story as well. Vice has been born, and Vice basically tells him that you got to protect your family, and you know, I know you're scared and stuff like that, but you got to protect your family. But how would you like forming a contract with me? We also saw that Iki wasn't afraid of him. He also said, you have to form a contract with me. And if you do that, then you won't remember this night. So little Iki says okay, and he ends up forming a contract with Vice. It's like, I guess they have 3 contracts with each other now. Forms a contract with Vice, and then after that, Vice makes him go to sleep. And I guess that's basically what Vice has been trying to protect him from all these years, protect him from all these bad memories and things like that. But it also doesn't explain why Iki is like fading away from pictures and stuff. I guess they haven't done that in a while, but I don't know why they're not still like showing that. Is Iki still fading away from like pictures and memories and stuff like that? But maybe now that he remembers everything, that won't happen anymore. But we see that Daiji's like, Daiji asks Vice like, "Why didn't you tell us?" Is because, well, he was forced to remember all that. Our contract cannot be broken like that. He was forced to remember that, so I'm not in violation of it. So that's when George ends up telling him. We also get like story from George, and we also get story from his dad. His dad basically saying that yes, this young man was hurt in this big accident, and they ended up infusing gift DNA inside of him. Katazaki ended up experimenting on him, and that's when he was giving the Vale driver and his demon, and that's how he was able to become Kamen Rider Vale. And he was actually able to end up living basically a normal life, but he just had Vale inside of him laying dormant, I guess. And yeah, it was so freaking weird. I guess his dad also I guess his dad may have been playing stupid this whole time just so he could protect his family. And maybe this whole like him being like the quirky kind of silly content creator kind of guy maybe was like his little thing, you know, to not get anybody on his trail or whatever. So, and I don't know, maybe their mom also knows about this, because we also saw, I don't know if this was their mom or not, but we saw this woman, you know, laying there in the fire, basically laying there in the burning building, passed out. And I don't know if that was their mom or not, because she had long hair, stuff like that. I don't know who that woman was, but maybe it was their mom, maybe a younger version of their mom or whatever, because it did happen. This incident basically took place in 2004, so I don't know. I don't know who that woman maybe was, but if you guys know, let me know down in the comment section. But this was so basically Katazaki basically says that he was the gift when they found, basically the gift stamp was found 50 years ago, and then 30 years later it was found 50 years ago, and it's considered an opart. And an opart is basically an artifact found in a place to where it should not be. Like if the artifact looks too advanced for wherever you found it. That's like going to an Aztec ruin and finding an iPhone 3 and finding an iPhone. Like, it's weird. Like that iPhone be considered an opart because why is it here? So he basically talks about how that, you know, he did experimental, get into all this stuff. That's how he became Comrade Vale. And Vale is basically Ginta's demon. But I guess Katazaki also told Vale to not mess with his son. So it also may try to mess with Katazaki, may try to mess with George. I don't know. But yeah, episode basically ends off with George getting ready to tell them something else, but the episode basically ends off right there. But yeah, this was an amazing episode. Comrade Vale is absolutely dope. I hate that this guy is a freaking bad guy. Technically, he's a bad guy, but other than that, I don't know what to think right now. Also, next episode, we're gonna Daiji's gonna get some plot. My favorite character is gonna get some stuff. Seems like he's also gonna get a new form in this episode. If you follow scans and stuff like that, you know what form this is. But I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who doesn't know what it is. But it also is a very, very awesome form. But maybe this is when, you know, him and Kagero finally make amends with each other or something like that, because we see them fighting each other. So I guess Kagero has gotten strong enough to the point where he's able to exist outside of basically be able to exist outside of Daiji. Or maybe he does the same thing that, you know, Ikki and Vice do when he lets Vice out for a while or something like that. But yeah, we see that they're going to be fighting each other. We're going to get Kamen Rider Live versus Kamen Rider Evil, and I can't wait to see that. I love both the designs of these riders, so I can't wait to see this guy as he take down his demon, to fight his demon. Because Daiji is my favorite character in this series, and I hate that he's kind of been pushed to the back burner a little bit, him and Kagero, even though Kagero is a douchebag. I like Kagero. But yeah, you guys let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think of this episode? And also the GIF, we see GIF eat one of the research ladies inside the warehouse, and the episode ends off right there. I'm like, holy crap, man. He just snatched her up. Like, you see this big purple arm come up and just eat her. So yeah, GIF's waking up, and I'm scared because if it did that, I don't know what's about to happen, because now it's sentient. Now basically he's sentient. Basically now he can see and hear things and whatever. We actually heard his voice a little bit in this episode too. So, but not like him saying anything, but just him powering up, I guess. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Kamen Rider Revice. I'm going to see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and remember, stay henshined.